Hey guys, it's a She Crochet Motif. Thank you so much for tuning in, and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the Beachy mesh crochet top. Let's go! So for this project, you're going to need a crochet hook. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter, and I'm using yarn. At this moment, I'm using size 3 yarn. And then you're going to need stitch markers later on, scissors, and a darning needle to weave in your ends. So we're going to start it off by making a slip knot. And then I'm going to be using a foundation chain row, and so we're going to be using half double crochets and double crochets in this pattern. So you're going to chain 2, and then we're doing a foundation half double crochet, so we're going to yarn over and go into the first loop as though we're doing a regular half double crochet, pull through, and then pull through only the first loop on the hook, and then pull through all 3, and it should look like this. So then you're going to go into these 2 loops, yarn over, go into the 2 loops on the side, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then pull through all 3. And so we're just going to continue that until we get a chain that doesn't quite go all the way around our body, so it will go about 7/8 around our body. And then I'll come back and show you what I have. So I'm coming back to show you how to do a foundation half double crochet. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over, and there's this V looking stitch, and so that's what we're going to crochet into. So you're going to yarn over, go into the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's what we're going to do. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over, go through the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're going to continue that until you get the length. So I finished my foundation half double crochet row now, and this is how long it is. And so when I was saying you should not make it like so it's able to go around your whole body, I said that because in the back we'll have a little string to like pull it closed, so it doesn't need to go all the way around. So anyways, when you're done your foundation chain row and have all the chains or all the stitches you need, you're gonna chain 1, turn, and half double crochet all across the row again. So yarn over, go in and pull through all 3. We're gonna do that for the whole row. I'll meet you back when I'm done. I have now reached the end of my row, and it should look like this. And so now we will start working on the mesh part of the top. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna chain 2. Actually, we're gonna chain 3. So the chain 2 will count as 1 double crochet, and then the chain 1 will count as a chain 1. So we're going to skip this first stitch and then go into the second and double crochet. And it should look like this. And then we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and then double crochet. So we're going to repeat that till the end of the row. So chain 1, skip a stitch, into the next stitch, double crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, into the next stitch, double crochet. We're going to continue that all the way down to the end of the row, and then I'll meet you back. So I'm almost at the end of the row, but my original chain was uneven, so I have 3 stitches left instead of 2, and that's fine. If this happens to you, you're just going to chain 1 and double crochet in the last stitch. It's okay if you have to skip 2 because it'll all even out in the end. So now that we have reached the last row, or sorry, reached the last stitch or finish our row, we're gonna chain 2, chain 3 actually, sorry. Turn our work. And so we have a double crochet here, but we're not going to go into that. We're going to go into the next double crochet and double crochet. And then after that, we're going to chain 1 and go into the next double crochet. And we're just going to continue this down the road, chaining 1 and double crocheting into the double crochets. So I'm getting to my last 2 stitches, so I just chained and I'm going to go into the double crochet. And though you may think we're done now, we're actually not. We're going to chain 1 more. And then remember how we did a chain 3 at the beginning of the row? We're going to go into the second chain, not the third, because the third chain is our chain 1. So we're going to go into the second chain and double crochet. And that is how we will finish off our row. So we're going to repeat this row all the way until we get how long we want the body of the top to be. So we're just going to continue by chaining 3, turning the work, skipping the first double crochet and going into the second, chaining 1, and then going into the double crochet. I'm just continuing this for as long as we want to make the body. I will come back when I have the finished size of the body. After you finish the body, this is my width. You can make it as long or short as you want. You're just going to chain 1 and turn your work. And then in the first stitch, you know how usually we would skip that stitch? We're just going to half double crochet into it. Then we're going to half double crochet into the chain. And then into the next double crochet. We're just going to do this all the way down the row. So just half double crochet in every spot, every chain, and in every in every double crochet. I'll meet you back when I'm done. So as we get to our last stitch, this may look like our last stitch, but we're actually going to want to go into this first chain. Okay, and now we are done with this row. And this is what it's looking like. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And just half double crochet back down. We're going to do as many rows of half double crochets that it takes so that it covers your chest. So now I'll come back when I'm got the height that is needed. So I finished crocheting the front or the chest part of the top. So now what we're going to crochet are holes on this more solid part so that it looks similar to the holes on this part. So to crochet the spaces that look like this, we're just going to crochet and then go into this spot. And so we're just going to crochet into about every other row so that the chain spaces look kind of similar in width to those chain spaces. And so this is what it's looking like. And as you can see, the width is kind of similar to that. So that's what we're going to do all the way until we get to the end, or to where these holes start. I'll meet you back. So I've just chained one, and now I'm going to slip stitch into just before the first chain space. So it should look like that. So now I'm just going to slip stitch it closed, and we're going to repeat the exact same thing that we did on this side on the other side. And I'll show you how to start it off. On the opposite side, I would start, you see how we started at the beginning over here? At the opposite side, I start at the end. So I'm just gonna insert my hook in the end right before, or right after that chain space. And I'm going to pull my yarn through and chain 3. Next, I'm going to double crochet 2 rows, about 2 rows away, just to make sure that I have the same width of chain space as I have here. And I'm gonna do this all the way around, all the way down. You can either work your yarn in as you're going or after, whichever one suits you best. So I'm coming up on the end, and I'm just going to double crochet into this first stitch of the row and fasten off. So that is how we finish off that part. What we need to do now is we're just going to count the width of this whole top portion and divide it in half to get the middle stitch, and that's where we'll use the chain to cinch it together to get that look. So I'll show you. So after counting, I got 114 total stitches, so I divided that by 2, which got me 57. So I put a stitch marker in the 57th stitch from the beginning. And so now we're going to do a chain. And I'm gonna see where 20 or where 15 change gets me. And so the chain is meant to reach from a little bit above to a little bit below the chest part, and so it doesn't do that for me yet, so I'm gonna have to keep going. Okay, so almost, just about 5 more. Okay, so it's good now. And the reason that we do a chain rather than a just a string is because the chain, it makes it a bit stronger, so there's no chance of it breaking from pulling it tight. So anyways, we're just going to fasten off and leave a little bit of a tail so that it'll be easier to weave it in between the stitches. So now we're gonna need a darning needle to continue. So you're gonna wanna put the thread of the chain through your darning needle, and then for this you're gonna want to work on the wrong side. So this is the right side of it for me, so this side of it is the wrong side for me, and I'm gonna go just below the stitch marker, so not on the exact row of the stitch marker but a little bit below, and just start weaving it in and out. And this does not at all have to be like a perfect science, because you won't be able to see the string after you pull it tight. So I'm just going in and out, as you can see, and I'm going to do that all the way until I get to the bottom. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to want to make sure that you come out. So you're going to want to end out this way, not on the other side. And so you're going to just pull it. And so now what you're going to do is just tie the strings super tight like that. And then you can knot it or just make it into a bow. For now, I'll make it into a bow in case I want to take it out for some reason. And so this is what the back will look like, and the front will look like this. And so now we can move on to making the string that basically like almost like a corset kind of thing. So yeah, so for that, once again, we're just going to create a chain, and you can make the chain as long as or short as you want, but I recommend you making it very, very long. So like if you think that you've made it long enough, just keep going, because it probably won't be. So just make the chain very, very long, and I'll come back to you when I have my finished chain. So I've finished chaining my chain, and it's a very long. So yeah. Anyway, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to slip stitch all the way down the chain. And to slip stitch, it's really easy. You just go into the next chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop that's already on your hook. And you're just gonna do that all the way down. I'll meet you back when I'm done. So I'm done with my going back over it with slip stitches. So now I'm just going to fasten it off, cut off the string. Oop. And then just fasten it off. And then this other string at the end, I'm just going to tie them together just to secure it even more. And so you can either weave in these ends now or weave them in after you've put them into your, top. So basically for the top, I've turned it with the back on the back side. And so now I'm having the good sides on top, if that makes sense. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna weave each side into the top holes. Same for this side. If I can find the end. Okay. So as you can see, they're in both of the top holes now. And let me adjust the camera. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to skip 2 spaces, and then into third I'm just going to pull it through, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So skip 2, and then into the third I'm going to put it in. And we're going to do this all the way down. So skipping 2 and then putting it into the third. So I've now finished, and I have woven into all the holes now. And so you could finish it here and basically have it be like a strapless top, but I can just show you a way that you can add some very simple straps on. So you can just, you're gonna count an equal number away from the center, basically to where you want your straps to go. I think I want mine about here, so I'll count from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stitches away. And so I'm just going to put a stitch marker there, and then same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm just going to get a stitch marker. I can open it, okay, and put it into the 14th stitch on this side. After doing that, we're gonna want to get our yarn and just attach the yarn to where the first stitch marker is, and you're gonna want to pull through, and you're just gonna want to chain however long you want the chain to be to go over your shoulder. This may require you putting it on to see how it fits and to see if it's too tight, too loose, or if the stitch markers are too far away. So yes, this is just what I'm gonna do. Okay, so if you're finished your chain, or when you're finished your chain, you're just going to want to attach it. So put your yarn through the space with the other stitch marker, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook, and then just yarn over and then fasten off. And you're gonna do the exact same thing to the other arm. So this is what the first arm is looking like. Yes, so this is what the first arm looks like. And so you're just going to want to do the second arm, which is the same exact process that we did for this arm. So after completing both sleeves, you should weave in your ends, and then you'll be finished. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you tune in for the next one. Bye.